We got booked to play a show in Gainesville, and this was the last incarnation, or the last basic incarnation of Jehovah'ss Witnesses. And we had John Stenier playing drums, who's gone on to play in Helmet and Battles and Tomahawk. Amazing drummer, great guy. But we're playing in Gainesville, and we get up to Gainesville. We're all carpooled up there, and the NAACP is picketing the show. And I don't understand why. And apparently somebody has told the NAACP that we're a skinhead band, a racist band, whatever. And I went actually up to people who were on the picket line. I said, "Do you know who we are? What is your basis for this picket?" "Well, this is what they told us." I said, how can you base this on something that someone told you? You don't know us for shit. And apparently the NAACP came in and recruited these people from the college campus to picket us. They didn't know anything about it until somebody else pushed it. Now, I was so disappointed that night. I went to Gainesville on such a high. I was excited to play there. It was supposed to be a really good show, and that whole thing that was horrible. Show Cold was an interesting project. Me and Mike still hung out, and we've been friends for, since I was 13, 14 years old, so we were talking, we should start a band. And we had this friend of ours that played drums, and he's a really, really good drummer as well. And it's like, yeah, let's start a band. So, we got with him, we're looking around for bass players, and unfortunately we got this guy Putty that played bass. Now, he was a good bass player, I would say, for what we were doing. We went into the band deciding to play the music we enjoyed playing, the style of music, and to piss people off as bad as we could. And that was what we did. They were the one place that would let punk bands play back in that day, but I didn't like playing there. It's kind of like the Brass Mug after that. I hated playing Brass Mug, but Brass Mug was the place you had to play. Sunset Club had a decent stage. They never had good sound. They never had it was never perfect. I thought it was kind of interesting because I started getting into metal, so yeah, when we'd go out to shows and we were hanging out in Ybor, my thing was running around Ybor going, "Metal!" So that's whatever my deal was. Anyway, the death metal thing, there was a lot of good death metal bands. That was a decent show. We had some issues there, but I thought those guys were a good band. I do have to say that the night before, it was the night before I got left in downtown Tampa by my roommate. We were supposed to meet at Act 4, and he would drive me back to our apartment, but he forgot. So I had to skateboard from downtown to fucking West Shore Mall, which was awesome. There were Orlando skinheads or I'm assuming it was Orlando skinheads because that's what everybody told me it was. I was inside dealing with, the show, what we were doing, and I wasn't hanging out in the parking lot like most of the punk rock people usually did. I was in making sure everything was going smoothly because, we were Jehovah'ss Witnesses kind of not necessarily promoted it, but we were involved with the whole situation. So, but I heard that there were some Orlando skinheads out there beating up people or harassing people, whatever. But it wasn't as bad as some of the shows that had past that. But the night after that at Hell House, they were gone, and the assholes of Tampa apparently came out and really did some bad stuff. All I remember is, or remember hearing about the whole thing is the guy's house that the Asexuals played in was pretty much beat to crap. People were kicking holes in the walls, ripping ceiling fans off the ceiling, peeing and or defecating in the refrigerator, setting fire to the refrigerator. The people that I had heard about that were doing some of this stuff, people I knew, and I just thought it was ridiculous. The band, the Asexuals themselves, playing, were incredible. The show they put on, they were diving off the PA, they were diving off the drum set in this house. It was in a house, and it was a really good show. They were putting on a very entertaining show. They were a great band. It was an amazing thing to see. That was an entire mess. I don't remember a whole lot of it because I left early because I knew it wasn't going to happen. I remember hearing that somebody got pinned under a car because the Orlando skinheads were basically beating the crap out of them, and cars were getting beaten the shit out of, and people were getting... I always enjoyed playing with bands that came through town and enjoyed playing music. You know, that was my thing. And at a certain point, it wasn't fun anymore because you didn't know if you were going to actually get to play or not. You didn't know if you were going to get paid for playing. You didn't know if your friends were going to get their ass kicked while you're playing because you couldn't help protect them. So, after so many of those shows, I kind of just walked out of the whole thing. I spent several years, I didn't play guitar anymore, I didn't do anything, didn't deal with bands, I just kind of did my own thing, worked, came home. I didn't want to do it.